Imagine being the biggest name in women's basketball, but constantly facing criticism for simply being yourself. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, has taken the WNBA by storm, yet she finds herself at the center of a firestorm that has nothing to do with her game. From trash talk debates to officiating inconsistencies and media bias, Clark is exposing cracks in the system that no one dared to talk about until now. Stay tuned, because what she's revealed might just change the way we see women's basketball forever. And it's not just talk. Clark's actions speak just as loudly. She continues to play with fire and passion, refusing to tone down her personality to fit outdated expectations. She's using her platform to push boundaries, even if it means facing criticism along the way. Caitlin Clark isn't just redefining what it means to be a star in the WNBA. She's forcing the league, its fans, and even her critics to confront uncomfortable truths. Her journey has shown that double standards are still very much alive in women's basketball, but her resilience is a reminder that change is possible. But this wasn't just about fan perceptions. They extended to the court. Referees seemed quicker to call technical fouls for her emotional reactions, while male players in the NBA get away with much worse. Clark has also faced rough physical play in her rookie season. Opponents have openly admitted to targeting her, trying to send a message that she isn't untouchable. Yet, when she pushes back, she risks being labelled as the instigator. One viral moment this season perfectly captured the issue. During a game against the Liberty, Clark was visibly frustrated after a hard foul wasn't called. As she voiced her displeasure to the officials, she was hit with a technical foul. The WNBA's inconsistency in handling such situations has only fueled her criticism of the league. Off the court, the double standards continue. Her journey has shown that double standards are still very much alive in women's basketball, but her resilience is a reminder that change is possible. The question now is, will the WNBA rise to the challenge and embrace the evolution that players like Clark represent, or will it continue to hold onto outdated norms? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over, because Caitlin Clark isn't just playing the game. She's changing it. While Reese was vilified by some, Clark defended her, saying, "Trash talk is part of the game." Entering the WNBA, Clark quickly realized the double standards weren't limited to public opinion. They extended to the court. Referees seemed quicker to call technical fouls for her emotional reactions, while male players in the NBA get away with much worse. From high school phenom to college superstar, Clark's style, marked by deep three-pointers, no-look passes and fiery competitiveness, made her a fan favorite. But it wasn't just her skills that caught attention, it was her unapologetic confidence. She taunted opponents, celebrated big plays, and brought a swagger to women's basketball that felt more like the NBA. Yet, while male players are often celebrated for this behavior, Clark found herself walking a tightrope. She was called cocky, unsportsmanlike, and even disrespectful. Yet, isn't this the same attitude celebrated in stars like Stephen Curry or Damian Lillard? Clark herself has pointed out the hypocrisy. In interviews, she's said, "Why is it okay for men to show passion and competitiveness, but when women do it, it's seen as a problem?" Caitlin Clark isn't just exposing double standards, she's calling for change. She's advocated for better marketing strategies that highlight the depth of talent in the league, not just individual players. She's also spoken about the need for more consistent officiating and greater acceptance of emotional expression in women's sports. And it's not just talk. Clark's actions speak just as loudly. She continues to play with fire and passion, refusing to tone down her personality to fit outdated expectations. She's using her platform to push boundaries, even if it means facing criticism along the way. The WNBA's inconsistency in handling such situations has only fueled her criticism of the league. Off the court, the double standards continue. Caitlin Clark is undoubtedly one of the WNBA's biggest marketing assets, yet the league has struggled to balance promoting her while giving equal attention to other stars like Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston, and Sabrina Ionescu. The media's focus on Clark's rivalries, especially with Angel Reese, has also drawn criticism. Some argue that framing their interactions as feuds perpetuates harmful stereotypes about women in sports. Clark has addressed this directly, saying, "I think it's great for the game to have rivalries, but let's not pit women against each other unnecessarily." Caitlin Clark isn't just exposing double standards, she's calling for change. But what makes this story even more compelling is what it means for the future. Clark's record isn't just about individual greatness, it's a challenge to the next generation of players to aim higher and dream bigger. She's shown that records are not limitations, they're invitations to push the boundaries of what's possible. Caitlin Clark's record-breaking night was more than a game, it was a turning point for basketball. She didn't just break one of Steph Curry's records, she proved that women's basketball is a force to be reckoned with. Teammates mobbed Clark at midcourt, and social media exploded. Within minutes, Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry were trending worldwide. But Clark's reaction was as humble as it was emotional. In the post-game interview, Clark said, "Steph has always been my idol. To break one of his records is surreal, but it's a testament to what's possible when you love the game and work hard every single day." Even Curry himself chimed in, tweeting, "Records are meant to be broken. Congrats to Caitlin Clark, she's changing the game." Steph Curry's impact on basketball is undeniable. To understand the gravity of this achievement, we have to start with Steph Curry. Known as the greatest shooter in NBA history, Curry revolutionized basketball with his ability to hit shots from anywhere on the court. His record for most three-pointers in a single game, set at 13 in 2016, was seen as untouchable, a benchmark of perfection. Fast forward to 2024, and Caitlin Clark was already making headlines as a rookie in the WNBA. She was rewriting the record books with her deep shooting range and fearless playmaking. But what happened on that fateful night? No one saw it coming, not even Clark herself. It was a regular season matchup between Clark's Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty. The fact that Clark's achievement was measured against Curry's record also spoke volumes. It showed that women's basketball deserves to be held to the same standard as the men's game, a message that resonated far beyond the court. For young players, Clark's performance was a moment of inspiration. Seeing her break a record held by an NBA legend proved that greatness knows no gender. It's not just about how high you can jump or how fast you can run, it's about skill, heart, and determination. Breaking Steph Curry's record was more than a career milestone for Caitlin Clark. It was a defining moment that will be remembered for decades. He made the three-pointer the most valuable weapon in the NBA, changing how teams strategize and how players train. His influence extended beyond the court, inspiring a generation of young players to develop their shooting range. Caitlin Clark is following in his footsteps, but carving her own path. Her record-breaking performance solidified her as the face of a new era in women's basketball. Like Curry, she's proving that long-range shooting isn't just a skill, it's a spectacle that draws fans and reshapes the sport. It's the moment that shook the basketball world. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's rising star, did what no one thought was possible. She broke one of Steph Curry's most iconic records. But this wasn't just another game, it was a career-defining moment that cemented her as one of basketball's all-time greats. How did Clark accomplish such an incredible feat, and what does it mean for her legacy and the future of the sport? Let's dive into the unforgettable night Caitlin Clark shattered history. By halftime, she had already hit 9 threes, and the buzz in the arena was palpable. As the fourth quarter began, Clark tied Curry's record with her 13th three-pointer, an off-balance shot from the corner that left the crowd on its feet. But she wasn't done. With just 2 minutes left in the game, Clark pulled up from 35 feet out, her signature range, and drilled her 14th three-pointer. The record was hers. But the question now is, how far can Clark go? Will she continue to shatter records and redefine the sport, or is this just the beginning of an even greater legacy? One thing is certain, Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's changing it, and as her journey continues, the world will be watching. Because when the lights are brightest, Caitlin Clark always delivers. Clark's record-breaking night wasn't just about the numbers. It was about her confidence to take and make the toughest shots when the game was on the line. Caitlin Clark's historic performance didn't just break a record, it broke barriers. Her accomplishment garnered attention from fans, media, and sponsors, shining a spotlight on the WNBA like never before.